In 2021, workers had all the power.
Retailers and fast food chains are bracing for strikes in 50 cities today. Workers say they can't afford to live on what they're getting paid. They're asking for more money and the right to form unions.
They were quitting jobs left and right, demanding higher salaries.
The pandemic has seen a massive shift in the U.S. labor market, much of it driven by people quitting their jobs in what's become known as the Great Resignation.
Remote work, better treatment. Companies were begging people to work for them. Fast forward to today, and something terrifying has happened. Companies aren't laying people off. That would make headlines. That would cause outrage. Instead, they're doing something far more sinister.
The company plans to replace 500,000 jobs with robots over the next decade.
They've simply stopped hiring. Here's a number that should keep every college student awake at night. Big tech companies cut new graduate hiring by 25% in 2024 compared to 2023. Not because business is bad, but because they've discovered they don't need entry-level workers anymore. For the first time in modern history, recent college graduates now have a higher unemployment rate than the general population. The unemployment rate for recent college graduates stood at 5.8% in the first quarter of 2025, compared to around 4.1% for the general population. Let me say that again. Your expensive four-year degree is now making you less employable than someone without one. This isn't a recession. This isn't a temporary downturn. This is the beginning of something we've never seen before. And if you're under 30, you need to hear what's coming next. Let's rewind for a second to understand how we got here. Remember the Great Resignation? Starting in 2021, a wave of voluntary job resignations swept across the US. Workers were burned out, fed up, and for the first time in decades, they had leverage. Companies couldn't find enough people to fill positions. Wages shot up. Remote work became the norm. Workers thought they'd won, but here's what nobody predicted. The Great Resignation didn't just end. It transformed into something else entirely. By mid-2023, the quit rate had fallen back to pre-pandemic levels. The balance of power shifted back to employers. And then, the hiring stopped. See, while workers were busy job hopping and negotiating raises, corporations were making different plans. In 2025, Meta, Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft announced they would collectively spend up to $320 billion on artificial intelligence. That's not a typo. $320 billion, spent in a single year by just 4 companies on technology designed to replace human workers. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire GDP of countries like Finland or Portugal. According to Stanford's AI Index 2025, 78% of organizations worldwide reported using AI in at least one area of their operations, up from 55% the year before. The adoption curve isn't gradual anymore, it's vertical. And here's the part that should terrify anyone entering the workforce. AI isn't replacing the factory workers first. It's not coming for the truck drivers, not yet anyway. It's coming for the white-collar workers, the junior analysts, the entry-level programmers, the content writers, the marketing coordinators, the people who just spent 4 years and $100,000 getting a college degree. Research from Stanford, MIT, and other institutions found that when AI can perform most tasks for a specific job, the structural impact reshapes how roles are organized. But here's the twist that makes this especially cruel for young workers. Companies aren't firing their senior employees. They're keeping the experienced people who can supervise the AI, who can catch its mistakes, who understand the business deeply enough to know when the AI is wrong. The people getting cut, the ones who never get hired in the first place, it's the junior roles, the entry points, the first rungs of the career ladder. Research from SignalFire, a venture capital firm tracking 600 million employees, found that big tech companies increased hiring by 27% for professionals with 2 to 5 years of experience, while simultaneously reducing new graduate hiring by 25%. Meanwhile, graduate recruitment at startups decreased by 11% compared to the prior year. One industry expert put it bluntly: companies are no longer focused on recruiting juniors, as the time and resources invested in training them is significant and hard to justify. Think about what that means. The traditional career path used to be graduate college, get an entry-level job, learn the ropes, get promoted, become a manager, eventually become a leader. But what happens when the first step disappears? What happens when there's no entry-level job to get? Let's look at the numbers that nobody wants to talk about. According to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York and the St. Louis Federal Reserve, recent college graduates are experiencing unprecedented challenges. The unemployment rate for recent college graduates reached 5.3% in Q2 2025, compared to 4% for the general population. Meanwhile, the underemployment rate, that's graduates working in jobs that don't require a degree at all, hit 41.2%. Read that again. More than 4 in 10 college graduates are working jobs that didn't require their degree. They're bartending with biology degrees. They're driving Uber with finance degrees. They're working retail with computer science degrees. Here's the historical context that makes this even more alarming. For decades, recent graduates consistently had lower unemployment rates than the broader population. Having a degree was a competitive advantage. It meant better job prospects, higher pay, more security. That advantage has now completely reversed. Young college graduates between ages 23 and 27 are experiencing unemployment rates averaging 4.59% in 2025, compared to just 3.25% in 2019, representing a 41% increase. And it's hitting certain fields catastrophically hard. Entry-level employment in software engineering and customer service declined by roughly 20% between late 2022 and July 2025, while employment for older workers in the same jobs actually grew. Workers in computer occupations saw unemployment rates jump significantly. Arts, design, entertainment, and media experienced concerning upticks in unemployment as well. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Some executives are starting to sound the alarm about what they call the talent doom cycle. Think about it. If companies stop hiring juniors today, who becomes their senior employees in 10 years? If nobody learns the job from the ground up, who trains the AI when it makes mistakes? Who provides the institutional knowledge? Who becomes the next generation of leaders? One tech recruitment CEO warned, if you remove too many junior roles, you can starve the internal talent pipeline. Entry-level roles are the breeding ground for the leadership of the future. So what are young people actually doing? The data shows 2 major escape routes. The first, the gig economy. Full-time independent workers, those working independently 15+ hours per week, grew from 13.6 million in 2020 to 27.7 million in 2024. By 2027, freelancers are projected to make up over 50% of the US workforce. For young workers shut out of traditional employment, platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and DoorDash have become the default option. But here's the dark side. Only 40% of American gig workers have access to health insurance. There's no 401k match, no paid vacation, no job security. It's not a career path. It's a survival strategy. The second escape route, the skilled trades. And this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. While white-collar hiring freezes, blue-collar demand is exploding. As of April 2024, construction had approximately 355,000 job openings, while manufacturing had approximately 490,000. Jobs for electricians, plumbers, and HVAC technicians are projected to grow significantly through 2030. And the pay? Entry-level electricians earn a median of $60,600 annually, with intermediate electricians at $71,100. Plumbers can make $53,900 at entry level, rising to $75,800 at senior levels. Wind turbine technicians, one of the fastest growing jobs in America, have salaries averaging $52,000 to $85,000, with top earners exceeding $100,000. No student debt, no 4 years of unpaid internships, no resume black hole, just skills that AI can't replicate because they require human hands in physical space. Microsoft's research study, analyzing 200,000 real interactions with AI tools, found that jobs requiring physical work, human connection, and hands-on skills have minimal overlap with current AI capabilities. Conversely, jobs involving writing, information gathering, and communication tasks show heavy AI applicability. The irony is painful. Generations of parents push their kids toward college and away from trades. Don't be a plumber, they said. Get a degree, work in an office. Now those office jobs are disappearing, while plumbers are booked out months in advance. So where does this leave us? Let me be clear. This isn't about AI being evil or corporations being villains. This is about a fundamental shift in how work operates. A shift that's happening faster than our education system, our career advice, and our social safety nets can adapt. The World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs Report 2025 indicates that by 2030, 92 million jobs will be displaced, while 170 million new ones will be created. A net gain of 78 million, though new job creation is expected to outpace displacement. The report also found that 60% of employers expect significant transformations in their workplaces by 2030 due to AI and digital expansion. But here's the thing. Every technological revolution creates losers and winners. The gig economy, for all its problems, created opportunities for independent workers. Meanwhile, the skilled trades are desperately seeking workers and paying premiums to get them. And AI itself is creating new roles. The people who prompt, supervise, and collaborate with these systems. The path forward isn't to panic, it's to adapt. First, skills beat degrees now. What you can do matters more than what paper you have. Only 5% of employers still require a traditional degree for new hires, with many favoring technical certifications and bootcamp credentials. Second, AI literacy isn't optional. Learn to work with these tools, not against them. The workers who thrive will be the ones who use AI to multiply their output. Third, consider paths your guidance counselor never mentioned. The skilled trades aren't plan B anymore. For many people, they're the smarter plan A. Construction is now the #1 fastest growing industry for new graduates according to LinkedIn's 2025 report. And fourth, the old career ladder is broken. Waiting your turn, climbing rung by rung, might not work anymore. You might need to build your own ladder through freelancing, specialized certifications, or alternative career paths. The Great Resignation gave workers a taste of power. The Great Not Hiring is taking it back. But here's what I believe. The people who understand what's happening, who see it clearly, who adapt early, they won't be victims of this transition. They'll be the ones who figure out what comes next. The question is, which side will you be on? If this video opened your eyes to something you hadn't considered, hit subscribe. We're going to keep tracking this story as it unfolds, because this is just the beginning. Drop a comment below. Are you seeing this in your industry? Have you been affected by the hiring freeze? I want to hear your story. And if you know someone about to graduate college or make a career decision, share this with them. They need to see this before it's too late. I'll see you in the next one.